Guys, I am cringing. Sorry. I was making coffee and eating my bananas. But what do you call it? I've been listening to this debate right now, which is still live, and I'll share the screen in a second. But oh my God. Like, one side is playing dirty. And it ain't Andrew. It ain't Andrew. I'm shocked. So let me get over to it. My makeup is looking cray right now, but this is so fun. I messaged Sarah and I was like, I want to come in. And then it just took a turn for the worst. I messaged her around like before it started. But hold on.
Way better for the race than Kamala's policy.
You don't want the answer?
Well, you keep cutting us off.
I wanted to give Ghosty the floor actually, since she did get cut off on that one.
So I just wanted to say, like, that is part of her proposal. That's the reason she's doing this, is because lots of the bigger, millionaires and billionaires do get to evade taxes. And through her plan, they wouldn't be able to escape that anymore with this corporation tax. And there's one other thing she wants to tax for people who make more, like over like $100 million or something. It's a way so that they actually have to pay their taxes. Oh, it's the gains, the unrecognized gains tax. Yeah.
Just so that you understand.
Just for people that didn't watch the beginning, I was shocked in the opening messages. I love everybody on this panel, by the way, but I was shocked that Princess and Ghosty wanted to talk about Trump's tariffs with Andrew. Not the angle I would have taken. Okay, not the angle. Ghosty gave the first opening. Hold on. Lokai. She gave the first opening. She was like, I don't really have anything planned. But I think she brought up I forgot. Bye. Something like, check your Insta. Sent you another thing. Okay, I'll check it in a second. Hold on. She was like, I don't know. She brought up the tariffs. I was like, okay, probably not the angle I would have taken, but that's fine. And then I forget what Princess said. Okay. Sorry, my dog's in pain. Let's just keep it fucking going. Sorry.
And right, because I can tell that both of you are extraordinarily naive. I'm going to try to help you out here. Do you know what a lobbyist is?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it?
There are people who basically, they're kind of like,
they're filth.
They kind of represent corporations and kind of explain their.
They pay politicians for special interests.
Yeah, they represent special interest groups. Now, do you think that lobbyists work for the megala rich or for Main Street?
Megala rich.
I mean, as someone on the left, I don't love lobbyists all the time, but I do think they have their purpose.
Yeah.
So something that I've noticed in debates with Andrew, which we're getting back into them, but something I noticed is oftentimes when Andrew's trying to walk people down a line of thinking, he's always good faith about it, always. But people will like change the subject all the time. I'm like, why are you doing that? And now I'm starting to realize that I think it's like not, well, we've known that it's not prepared. But I feel like people will talk about stuff that they're not even that knowledgeable on. This isn't isolated. This is something I've gathered. Okay. Sorry, my dog's been in a lot of pain and she's stressed right now. No, baby. You're okay.
Asking you a question. Do you think that they usually represent the megala rich or Main Street?
Rich.
The megala rich.
Yeah, the megala rich. And so what happens is these lobbyists, right, they go down and they have their own lawyers, and their lawyers actually craft legislation, and then they bribe politicians. And what they do with bribing politicians, they say, look, your next reelection campaign, we're going to put X amount into a super PAC. And this super PAC is going to run all sorts of propaganda on behalf of you to make sure that you get elected this next cycle. That's what we're going to do. They already pre-craft the legislation.
Do you think this is not accurate? That's not the only thing.
Stop, bro. Let me finish, bro. You think that these megala billionaires who are from Goldman Sachs, who are sending in lobbyist groups, who literally send them to Republicans and Democrats with pre-crafted legislation, are ever going to allow them to tax actual megala billionaires? No fucking way. That's the most naive, stupid thing I've ever heard. They literally craft loopholes into the legislation. So what these people can do is this. What they do is they go, okay, I don't have any assets whatsoever. What I do is I take out $1 billion in loans and I live off the loans. I never have to pay a capital gain because I never made a capital gain. I've never made a single gain. So they never pay any fucking taxes.
We get it. Come on, make a point.
They never pay any taxes. Kamala Harris saying that billionaires are going to offset her economic disaster of charging corporations of 15 employees an additional 10%, which then is going to go to consumers like you. Yes, look at her corporate tax. Yes, 15 employees, right?
Why do you think it'd be better under Trump?
Do you understand?
All the evidence shows that,
bro.
Almost
done with the point.
Hold on. I know, Prawn. Okay, stop. Hold on, because you guys have been interrupting each other left and right. So, Prawn, if you could let him finish, and then I will pass the mic straight to you. So
what's happening is this. She's going to put it on Main Street corporations. Okay, that's what's going to happen. The people that you actually work for. And what that's going to do is it's going to stop you from getting your raises, and it's going to raise your prices. You've already admitted you're going to raise the prices at the pump. You've already admitted that it's going to raise the prices to the consumers in the stores. You just don't fucking care. And then you say, no, it won't, because the megala billionaires for the first time in history are going to pay their fair share. Get a fucking grip, dude. Get to reality.
Wait, you think that corporate
well, hold on, the
taxes...
floors. Let Prawn have the floor. I told him he could have the floor, and then Ghosty.
Like, also being super good faith, we already addressed this way earlier, at least in our opinion, at least accept our worldview, where we think there's going to be a way bigger effect from tariffs than the corporate taxes. So you can just ignore our view, but we've already addressed that.
Hold on, Andrew.
You haven't proven shit.
Hold on, Andrew. Let him go.
I let you finish. Come on, let me do it too. And I'm happy for the back and forth.
That's what you said.
You definitely tend to like gish gallop and talk for way longer than everyone else. So that's why I tend to.
Not true. That was not happening at all. I was listening to it the whole time. Not true. Why are you playing like that, Bronza? So what the fuck?
Interrupt you a little bit more. But I think you'll see a response as well.
Point, and somebody has to keep the conversation moving.
Wait, so you think that corporate taxes are affecting small businesses?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not. No. Her
Yes,
tax plan specifically are not affecting small business. It's
Yes,
for
they will.
businesses that make over a certain amount of income.
What is the amount?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but
You
it's
don't
like
know.
it's
You came to the
large
debate, you don't even
corporations.
fucking know.
It's not small businesses.
Prove
And
it.
small businesses buy their inputs from large corporations.
I know.
Exactly. And not only that, what you would consider to be a large corporation often would be conflated with a small business, right? Prove what. Now, you just made a statement. You said that Donald Trump is going to raise consumer prices more than Harris. We both have agreed that consumer prices will slightly raise under tariffs, which you guys agree that tariffs are good with me. You just don't agree that he's going to raise them by 20 or 30%. But you have not demonstrated how much that's going to raise prices on Main Street versus the corporate tax. So tell me, as you have made the bold claim now that Harris's corporate tax increases, though you agree are going to raise consumer tax, you say it's going to be less than the tariffs. Prove it. While we sit here and enjoy a drink as you struggle and can't because you're lying through your fucking teeth.
I already explained this, first of all.
Prove.
This has shown me that literally all the times that I would entertain certain talking points, it was pointless. Pointless.
Prove it.
He likes to repeat points.
I mean, like, you can't prove it.
You can't
either.
prove it. I didn't make the claim. You made the claim. Prove it.
So the economists all agree that 28% is the highest you can go before investors start getting worried about investing their money into these.
Where are you reading this
corporations
from,
and
by the
stuff.
way, Ghosty? Where are you reading it from?
I don't know. Maybe it's like the Wall Street Journal or something. I saw a whole bunch of economists agree on this.
Mm-hmm.
So something that concerns me, because it's not the first time I've heard that, But there's I don't know if anybody can be that. You know what I mean? Which I think it's a strong point. The issue is that just because economists say it, if I was gonna debate for Kamala in this moment, I would focus on things that I know she's done. Even if she was just the vice president, whatever, I would just take credit for Biden shit. That's what I would do. Because I'm concerned that, especially to Republicans, if you're trying to convince them of something different, you're not going to do it with supposed policies and something that, maybe you could if they were in office before. I wouldn't even do it for Trump, but I'm saying if I was arguing Kamala, I would just take credit for all Biden shit. I don't know.
But you can't. So wait a second. I just want to make sure that we're clear that your claim that that Trump is going to raise consumer prices more than Harris, that you can't prove that. I just want to make sure that I got that correct. You can't prove that, right?
So if he's adding 10 to 20 to 30+% on consumers, and again, it's not like a 1-for-1, but if that percentage is larger than the 6% of a corporate tax, then that's obviously
that's what's in dispute. That's what's in dispute. So we're just ready for you to go ahead and prove it whenever you want.
Okay, I got some dead here because again, I'm not a. Go ahead, go see, and I want to respond if it's okay.
Okay. Also, the prior example of the Washington.
Also, when he says, "What are you reading from the screen?" Don't feel bad to give the exact report. Seriously, I don't know, Washington Post. I feel like if you just say, "I just took this from 2017 Washington," whatever it is, I wouldn't be nervous about it, because it only strengthens it.
Washing and drying machines that he already tried this with. We've seen this in history. Every time you add tariffs, it hurts the consumers.
Yeah, but again, we've already agreed that it'll negligibly raise prices on consumers like you did with washing machines. What you would have to do is demonstrate that if you had increased all of the taxes by 10% on all companies which make washers and dryers, that would be cheaper than the tariff. That's what your burden is right now. As we kick back and have a smoke and watch you flail and not be able to do it. And I enjoy my life over here.
Good idea.
I'm happy to address this. I know you guys. I know y'all hate authority figures, but just I want to cite some economists because I'm not an expert on the economy, but I do think we can look to experts on this. But
I have an economics degree.
Okay, so Princess is doing that. That's good.
And I can tell you that what you're reading is propaganda. Economists do not.
Let me just say 3 points, and I'll go to you.
Okay.
Address these.
First, tell us what website you're reading it off of.
I have multiple here, but I'll give you.
Which one are you reading off of now,
though? The first one is coming from a USA article, but they're citing Goldman Sachs warned that Trump's plan for across-the-board tariffs could boost inflation in 2025 by as much as 1.2%. One more point: tariffs are generally passed on to the consumer in the form of higher prices. That's coming from AP News. And there's a third thing: Trump policies are seen as more inflationary overall, and this is coming from studying economics on the Forbes article. So just. Again, I'm not an expert, but I do think
So I don't know for sure, but it looked like he was reading it from one thing. Which if I don't know if they're checking it or not, but if you're going to get stuff from ChatGPT, and I'm not saying that he is, I'm just saying it looked like it wasn't opening different tabs. But if it's ChatGPT, oftentimes when I get sources from it, it's not good. I just spit everywhere. My dog's panicking.
Economics are saying this at least, so we can disagree with them.
You can get an economist to say anything you want.
Yeah, it's just soft.
I would qualify as an economist if they asked me.
I'm not even going to dispute it. I'm not even going to dispute what you just said. All I need you to do is demonstrate that the corporate taxes are not going to move prices over to the consumer higher than Trump's tariffs. That's all I want a demonstration of. Go ahead.
You can't. You can't. You can't.
Like how we would need to demonstrate that in real
Yeah,
time.
you would need to demonstrate that. Yeah.
There's economic models that or
Ask
just
him
understanding how these things impact the system, right? A corporate tax affects the profit margin of every company. So every single product that's sold is affected then. With a tariff, it's only impacting imports. So that's just components of things. It's spread much thinner throughout the economy.
But tariffs also raise the prices of US made goods too.
Sure. Both of them do.
Maybe I could use a demonstration or a scenario to illustrate it. Again, this is just hypothetical, but let's say a U.S. company was importing electronic.
Sorry, guys. There's nothing I can do right now with my dog. Okay, now we got flashing lights.
Components from China to manufacture smartphones. Theoretically, under Trump's policy, the tariff policies would lead to more immediate price increase, about 12%, and under Harris's corporate tax increases, you would see a smaller, potentially more gradual price increase, about 1.4.
Prove it.
Again, you're reading propaganda off.
Yeah, prove it.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
but you just said that there's economic charts that can show
There are models.
these things.
There are models.
Do you understand? Do you understand what a domestic model, what Flow State is referencing? He's referencing an economic model. So what economists do, because they're soft scientists, they make predictors, but they can't rule out variables. That's why it's a soft science, right? There's so many variables. It's very difficult for you to make an economic model which is actually precise and consistent. This is why people were wrong when they said that Trump would crash the stock market. They thought that his policies would be kind of anti-elitist and anti-stock market. But what happened was there was so much faith in Main Street from his tax cuts that people invested overwhelmingly. It was a variable they couldn't compensate for. So the stock market went through the roof. Economists get it wrong nonstop and constantly. The demonstration here would be on you to say that with a protectionist tariff to equal the playing field with a country that had surpluses with us, that somehow keeping free trade with them and allowing them to keep that surplus, it would be better to tax the American business instead, thus passing those taxes on to the consumer. And you're never going to be able to do that, ever.
Wait, what standard do you have? Because you're kind of throwing out all the science of economics.
You made the claim. You made the claim. You made the claim.
You're also making positive claims that you're making positive claims. Are you not making positive claims about the effects?
No, you made the claim.
Taxes?
I'm waiting for the data. You can't push your claim onto me, bro. I'm a real good debater, and I'm never going to let you do it. I'm never going to let you take your claim and put your burden on me. It's your burden. If you don't know and you want to move on, all you guys have to do is say, we concede, we don't know, and we'll move on. Go ahead.
Are you against corporate taxes?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why you think it is that we need to provide you with evidence for your
I'm asking
claim.
a question. I'm not asking for evidence. I'm
That's
asking a question
great.
about your worldview.
We're not here to answer your questions till you back up your claim. Go ahead.
You're allowed to ask me a bunch of questions, but I'm not allowed to ask you any questions before I try to answer your claim.
Bro. You made a claim. You don't ask me questions about your fucking claim. You back up your claim.
And let me explain something anecdotally. I was still a commercial loan officer when Trump got in office the first time. Immediately, business exploded. People started expanding, and you can expect that again. Democrats are always worse on the economy than Republicans are.
I guess I will read up my claim because they got missed. I'm saying we can't trust economy experts. Where you're kind of saying, no, we can throw out all the expertise. It's really.
No.
Well, it's
You're not talking to
economists. We can't trust any of it.
Yeah, I thought Process was the one doing that. Why did he flip it?
Why even talking about any of this? We might as well
you can't outsource thinking. You cannot outsource thinking. You have to.
This is very simple. This is very simple. I'm not even going to let Flow State do the. I know he wants to engage here. I get it, right? But this.
I have to engage.
This is pure obfuscation. You made the claim. If you can't back up the claim, all you have to do is concede this portion of the debate.
No, you just don't like how I'm backing up with expert opinions. You just don't like that.
Then all
default to authority.
Your claim specifically was that Trump's tariffs are going to raise the price to the consumers more than a corporate tax increase. Go ahead and back that up. We'll wait.
That's what economics are proposing. Most economists are saying.
Show me which ones show that.
That's what history has showed as well.
Yeah, all you got to do is demonstrate it. We're waiting.
Okay, what about during his first
I guess we can
first
agree to
term?
Are you
disagree.
asking me
Like,
questions?
I
You're just
can't-
looking for the.
So, do you really want my opinion on it? Do you really want it? If you can't prove, and they're rejecting the appeal to authority, just concede. It's okay. If the claim shouldn't have been made in the first place, if shit happens, you know what I mean? But it's okay.
Demonstration of the claim.
It's okay. You can come back.
You can't demonstrate yours either. So
I didn't make one, so I don't need to. That's how that works.
I keep making demonstration of my claim, and people are saying, no, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Like,
well, so the problem, just to clarify, the problem is you can't lead the questioning. Well, what do you think about this? Well, no, because if we answer that, then you're going to move with that. And that's not his burden. So instead, just make the assertion. If you can't, it's fine, you know, but the more you stay on it, the more it looks like stupid. If you just say, okay, I concede, go to the next point, then nobody would even fucking notice. But I find that the conceding in the YouTube sphere is like a defeat. Like people feel defeated. It's not genuine. Like I genuinely wish I did it more.
I'm not going to keep giving you more claims, and you keep just swinging them down.
I'm not asking you to give me more claims. Just asking you to back this one up.
I've already given you multiple.
Show me the source. What am I looking at that backs up this claim? Go ahead.
USA, AP, and what was the other one? I can't remember. USA News.
Do I need to repeat it again? I already gave you
repeat it again.
I know you love to repeat points, but Dosi, feel free to jump off this. But I was saying in multiple articles, for example, Goldman Sachs is warning that Trump's plans across the board tariffs could boost inflation by up to 1.2%. That's one. Another one is saying tariffs are generally passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. That's coming from an AP News article. I can put these in the back chat. And lastly, Trump policies are seen as more inflationary overall.
The issue with this is that they're going to pull the evidence from his first term. I don't remember what it was, but they had said it. And they were demonstrating that, well, at the time, these economists were saying this, and this is what actually happened. So it's just going to refute it again. It's okay. It's okay.
Economics in a Forbes article. I can put these all in the back chat.
That doesn't. That makes no demonstration to your claim that the corporate taxes will not raise the consumer prices more than the tariffs. That's what I'm looking for.
It's all predictive and it's all guessing. And you can say for fucking sure that that news source is going to compile the economists that will support the answer that they want to get. If Trump gave up the tariffs, then would you support him?
So in the beginning, they said that they are for tariffs, just not. They're for tariffs sometimes, but Trump wants to do more than they want.
I actually like his small business, like that 2017. Sorry, I don't know the names of them. I thought I had them written down somewhere, but my notes didn't transfer over to my computer.
That's okay.
Actually, it might be in here, but he had like a small business thing that he gave. And I like that. And he does want to extend that. I would say that's like the only positive thing about
small business tax credit.
Yeah.
So both of them have that. They're exactly the same in that way, which supports my premise that it's all fake.
Harris wants to help new business owners. So she's raising the
50% of businesses that are started within the first year fail. Fuck. Come on, y'all.
$1,000 deductible up to $50,000 for
what
first year
deductible?
new business owners.
Yeah, what deductible?
so you
Which
don't
one?
get taxed. You won't
Yeah,
get
which
taxed on up to
deductible?
$50,000.
Tell him he's obfuscating.
what?
You start a new business.
Don't
Of
answer.
what?
Don't answer.
Of what thing?
Of
There's
your-
multiple different types of deductibles for businesses. So which thing
Clever,
are we talking about
Andrew.
here with a deductible?
Clever.
You don't know.
Oh,
currently it's $5,000.
You don't know.
Suck 'em
versus-
You guys know
I'm rooting for both of them. Okay.
anything?
$50,000. I thought it was.
You don't know anything.
I don't have a small business. I'm not
You know
an
what? In the
economist.
spirit of good faith, why don't we go ahead and we'll move on to social policy, right? How about that?
I want to say one more thing on tariffs before we move on, if that's
Yeah,
okay,
you go
because
ahead.
I'm not an not an expert on economics, so it is hard for me to demonstrate this. It's like kind of like personally demonstrate like a really complex physics equation, but I'll try to do this with a very layman example. For example, here's kind of two examples to show how the different policies would be implemented. So let's say we're talking about like a TV is being imported. Imagine this is a $100 TV with a 10% tariff. The company would probably move it up to be $110 to company for the tariff. The price increase would be immediate and directly passed on to the consumer, and thus causing a swift rise in inflation. Versus comparing it to the
Corporate will happen faster.
One
Okay,
second.
well,
Let me
first-
wait. Let me finish. I'm almost. Just let me
Let him
finish. I'm
finish.
almost
Go
done.
ahead,
I'm
go
almost
ahead,
done.
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Versus the corporate policy, a corporate earning, a company earning $100 in profit, they would pay 21 in taxes. If that was 21% rate. If the rate was increased to, for example, 28, they would pay 28. That would be an increase in $7. So even already smaller increase already, and also they have way more ways to handle that. They
But
can
what about
absorb the
but what about the debt? Oh no. Oh no.
cost. They can raise the prices slightly, and they can cut
Absorb the
expenses
cost, that-
elsewhere.
They're not going to,
Whereas only-
first of all, they're not absorbing shit. And second
Absorb,
of all,
yeah.
it's not one-to-one. And the third thing that you need to look at there is that no, there's a good possibility that instead the person who you're in the trade war with fucking loses. And then the price of that good drastically decreases, which is the point of having the tariff to begin with. The distinction is that under the corporate tax, you don't have the ability to cripple the competition with these tariffs. You don't have the ability to do so.
To be on the point, you asked me to give you the mechanism that's how it's going to be different. I'm telling you, even as one example, it's going to be like a $3 difference based on the rate.
That example
just
illustrates exactly
refuted
what I was saying. It's propaganda.
So Andrew and Flo just refuted it though.
They gave you the most straightforward extreme example where the product purchased is 100% and only an import.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And not only that, right? I just gave you multiple offsets for this, even within the hypothetical. The hypothetical doesn't even make sense. But again, I'm so tired of kicking your guys' asses on this, and you're so unwilling to provide actual data that supports your point of consumer increases that I'm happy to move the topic on. If you just will concede, take the L on this topic, we'll move to the next one, and I'll give you the L on the next one.
To be,
Starting
I
experts
think
is definitely not data. Go ahead.
It was
Not gonna do it. So Sarah, don't get mad at me then, because I just tried to move it on. I
We
just
can move
tried to
on
move it
after
on.
this.
They want to
I
get their
just wanted-
assistance
Guys,
more on this. So
we
we're
just-
do
move on
that.
after this. I just
All
wanted
right.
to say I found it. It was as I was saying, it was 50K startup cost deduction. So that's what I was trying to say. Like if you start up a new business, the startup cost, that's the deductions.
Yeah, but
like
okay,
to
so
answer your question.
So hang on, I just want to make sure I got this right. So if you start up a new business with your own money, lucky you, the government's not going to tax your own money from your startup cost. Well, how nice of them. How nice
Well,
of them.
it's 5,000 now, and she's raising it to 50,000.
Okay, from the federal level, it's 5,000, but you
I
have
wonder
state
what
offsets too.
percentage. I wonder what that percentage
First
would be
time.
if on the average.
Hold on. First time business owners. Oh, somebody hold my tatas.
business.
Oh my
Because $45,000 is not that much money.
Especially not for a startup cost on a
Right.
business.
Sure, but like it's a lot more
That's
than
like
$5,000.
half of a truck.
Okay, can she affect whatever the state offsets are? The answer is no. You're talking about a federal offset. Who cares? Most of this is not going to matter one way or the other. It's not going to incentivize people to run out and start. Nobody's like, I was going to start a small business until I realized that I'd have to pay a small percentage on my startup cost, or I'd only get 5,000 of it non-deductible. Nobody's fucking saying that anywhere on planet Earth. It doesn't matter. It's
helps.
completely irrelevant.
It
It's
helps
it's
people.
half of a pickup truck. It doesn't do shit.
Nothing.
Move
Anyway,
it on. Move
do you
it
guys
on.
want to move it to social issues? We only have so much time tonight.
Sure, we can move on.
Okay, so
So,
yeah, I'm guessing that
so I don't know what in the beginning, I don't remember them saying social issues, so I don't know what they're going to be. But yeah, let's keep going. Okay.
you guys are super excited for women to kill their kids. You can't wait. It's your favorite.
Okay, I lied.
Yep.
They did mention that in the beginning. But I thought they moved on from it. Okay.
And as we move into this topic, can we please be mindful of the words we use and how we use them? Thank you.
Sarah.
TOS.
Thank you.
Well, I don't think I did anything to violate
No,
TOS.
no.
yeah.
I'm not
It's a
saying you
warning.
did. I'm just saying as we move into
Yeah.
a deeper topic.
Yeah. So I'm guessing.
Deeper.
So when we get to social policies for Trump, right? I would like for you guys to actually tell me any social policies Trump have that you're against. Go ahead.
Death penalty for drug dealers.
Jailing and threatening journalists, kind of against that.
What?
He hasn't jailed any journalists.
Yeah.
That's
There's
a lie.
lots of domestic policy to
He's
impose
threatened
here.
them,
You
which
can do
only
better than
the
that.
president
No.
should do.
What he's threatened
What?
is that what's not. So here's what's going on, right? There are people who are allowed to slander with misinformation, and they lie, and they use a journalistic publication to do so. And Trump wants to change the slander laws. And yes, if you're
Yeah,
guilty,
the president shouldn't do that.
if you're guilty of slandering a human being,
If you think that you don't want to go that path, Twitter file. Oh my God, this is like painful. Okay, let's go.
and lying about them, and then using a giant
Like if you have to lie and say shit in order to sway your side, I find that so harmful. We were just talking about this yesterday.
mechanism, a corporate newspaper, for instance, to do so. Yeah, you should pay penalties for that. I agree with that.
That's already illegal. It's called defamation.
No, that's a civil thing. It should be criminal. That's what Trump is saying.
Criminal? You want
Yes.
to make it criminal.
Yeah.
For lying?
I
Yeah,
care
fuck
way
it.
more about the freedom of the
Since
press.
lying with
The
slander
whole point of the
that
press is to
criminal.
hold
Let
people
him-
power
let him go, Andrew.
accountable. So like I'm really worried about changing that dichotomy, because I think the whole point of the press and the freedom of press is to make sure people in power are held accountable.
Yeah.
But they're not doing that.
Nobody's
I do-
disputing that.
No, but that's not what's going on. Like, okay, I don't care if you want to hold people accountable. That's fine. But when you're comparing Trump to Hitler, I think that's really fucked up. I don't think we should be able to do that on any I don't even think we should be allowed to talk about Biden's capacity. I mean, I think there should be boundaries on this. I'm also mom, so, you know.
Then why
Who's
would
disputing that?
why would we change the laws to create like more of a chilling effect?
They lie on purpose in order to destroy a person's life.
That's
Why
almost
shouldn't we-
impossible.
why shouldn't
That's
we
almost
go to-
impossible
if
to
you-
prove.
Like, I don't think the public at large, I think we're moving into an era where we can't discern. I can, but most people can't. I'm just kidding. Like, people that do the due diligence to do it understand how big of a problem this is.
So, for instance, let's
Why
say,
would
for
it-
instance, Ghosty, I just want to make sure I got this correct. You think that it's a moral position to say that if you had a public newspaper which reached tens of thousands of people and you had somebody you didn't like, so you made up lies on purpose to destroy their life, and it did.
See, I feel like nobody's going to understand this until you have it happening to you. Because there's like one thing when people are saying the truth about some shit you say, but when they're making up deliberate shit and nobody's checking them for it, it's like, it's horrible. It's horrible. Honestly, I've had it happen to me
That there
once.
should be no criminal culpability for you. Only
And
a
I'm not
civil liability,
listening.
really?
I'll get behind that,
You're
yeah.
describing defamation, so that would be against the law.
Freedom of
I-
speech. Yes.
No, misinformation is
I would
not
be-
against the law.
I would be fine.
What are you talking about? Where did you get the idea of misinformation is against the law?
I said that'd be defamation, what you're describing.
Defamation is a
Yeah.
civil. That's civil, not criminal.
Mm-hmm.
I would be
Well-
fine with lowering the standard of defamation for publications and media, because I think it is a very high unattainable standard right now. So I would be fine with lowering that standard so that we can hold some.
What
of
would be
these
wrong with
media-
criminal culpability? What would be wrong with that? I don't get it. Seems
I just-
fine.
I think
Seems
that's
like if I destroy your entire
think
life
that's
with
a
lies, that I should be
slippery-
held culpable.
I think that's a slippery slope.
Well, I
that's
think
too
slippery
far.
slope's a fallacy, so I'm not
Because
going to
they
let that
won't
pass.
Just say, Ghosty, Princess, I pretend like they can hear me. Just say, we've never had lying be an issue. Lying is not like a criminal thing. Lying under oath is. That's pretty much
Because
it.
So I'm not going to
law
use
enforcement has
fallacious.
a terrible
one
track
second, one
record of
second, Felicity.
enforcing things accurately.
1 second, Flo Stay. I'm not going to let you use a fallacious argument like the slippery slope. You never allowed for me in it for a second. So you saying it's a slippery slope is dismissed. What's wrong morally with holding somebody who lies on purpose, slanders a person, destroys their life, criminally culpable? What is
I think it's like if you are stupid and lie on accident, that's one thing, right? But it's like, okay, so where did you get the information from? You'll have to provide more evidence before you put out certain pieces. And I think right now it's lazy what they're doing, and it's harmful.
morally wrong with that? Go ahead.
The assumption that we can accurately use that. You're asking me what's wrong with perfection, and I'm saying this is not an option
Not
for
perfection.
us. That is perfection.
No, it's not perfection. I'm talking about if you can prove. By the way, in a
So-
criminal case, the evidence is higher. It's higher than it
Yes.
is in a civil case.
And
What I'm
also, the
saying is
prosecution's
you-
budget is
Yeah,
me
that
finish.
if you can demonstrate, if you can prove that a person on purpose, okay, slandered you and destroyed your life over these slanderous claims, I see nothing immoral about holding them culpable for this.
Especially if you want to hold them accountable.
In
This
a
is-
legal way. Can you guys explain how that's an immoral position?
This is getting pretty close to like making hate speech like a law. Like when you're starting
No,
to
it's not
go
pretty
like,
close
oh,
to that at
words
all.
hurt people. When you're starting to be like,
Yeah.
words hurt people to a point of
There
criminality.
you go. There you
getting
go.
Close to
That's a good point.
hate speech laws.
No, we're not getting
and-
anywhere near hate speech.
I would think
Has
you
nothing
of
to do
all
with
people would
speech.
support more freedom of speech, not less of it.
What wait, first of all, why?
Don't you make your living talking shit to people?
Do you think I have freedom of speech? Don't make me
I am-
fucking laugh.
I am
Right
curious.
now,
What is your
right now, we don't have freedom of speech. I just got chastised and told that I need to adhere to TOS. We don't have freedom of speech. Give me a fucking break.
We don't
make
have
me laugh.
freedom of
laugh.
speech, but we can
We're-
have
we're-
less of it. We can have
we're
less
on a-
of it.
Don't
We're on a-
make
we're
me
on a private
fucking
platform,
laugh. It's a
but,
joke. What a joke. We don't know. First of all, no, nobody has no freedom of speech anyway. What I'm saying is that right now, newspaper publications across the United States are allowed to make up massive amounts of lies. And what they can do is this: they buy insurance. They buy insurance so that if they're held civilly liable, insurance pays out for them. They don't give a shit. They'll make up lies every single day. The only way to stop that from happening, you want a real free republic and fair republic, you want to stop that from happening, you have to hold people criminally liable for making up slanderous lies about you in order to destroy your life.
That's interesting. Because I've been questioning this yesterday, or I was like, I find this so problematic. Princess agreed
And
with
I want to
me.
hear a moral argument against that.
I thought he did. Maybe he didn't.
So I think kind of a question behind this would be like the form of reach. How much reach do you have, and are you utilizing that reach in order to like the intention?
Because, like, if they don't, like, I don't know if people are aware that Donald Trump says crazy shit because the publication does it. That's why. And so if I ever hear, like, well, Trump says blah, 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 is divisive, fix your newspapers first. And then he wouldn't do it. And it blows my mind that, like, the logic's not there.
Behind it, right? Then you're going for the moral version of it, but I think that's where the publicity portion comes in, because the intention behind it is to
True.
sway.
Based.
Well, I'm saying that what's happening is to the person is immoral, and to hold them civilly liable when insurance can come in and just cover their bill so they don't care. They actually bake it into their price costs. We are going to slander people on purpose and lie, and it's baked into our price cost model that insurance will just cover whatever we need to pay out.
Literally, like, You either agree or it's gonna bring up.
For the lies and slander, we
Good thing they haven't said shit like about that though. From what I heard, I don't know.
even though it destroys people's lives, absolutely destroys their lives, they do it all the time. Can you give me a moral reason, an actual moral reason why those people shouldn't face jail time for doing that? If they're doing it on purpose.
No, I cannot. But morality is not the only consideration when we're talking about these laws, because that's just the conceptual part. Implementation is the other part. That's why you isolated morality.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
what's wrong with
I don't care about the morality. I guess that's morally
because
fine.
you know that the implementation is impossible.
If it's morally fine, then what is your objection here?
The implementation.
It might be constitutional.
So what implementation would you agree to?
Excuse me, what implementation would I agree to?
Would you agree to?
I don't think that we can implement these sort of moral paradigms like this. So I would not support any more freedoms on
Not a good. You mean a law? We can't implement a fucking law? Give me a fucking break.
Restrictions on freedom of speech.
Why not?
Because we can't implement it well.
Why not?
Because it's subjective.
Oh, so okay. Well, then we shouldn't have any laws because they're all subjective.
Freedom of speech is up for the interpretation. Who would be? Okay, keep going.
This is uniquely subjective.
Everything is uniquely subjective.
What is the standard for my life is ruined by words? Like words hurt
people. I hope, Andrew, I fucking pray right now that you are going to say it's not just the person whose life is getting fucking demolished in the media, but it's especially important when it's a presidential candidate. Because it's not just him. It's the fucking idiots and half of America that keep coming to certain debates or conversations, leaving comments. Oh, it just got so loud. Saying so-and-so said this because they're not doing the fact checking. It exhausts me. Please, Andrew. Please.
Super
my life
subjective.
Is now,
it's not words. It's not words hurt me. It's through malicious lies, right? I hurt not only your income, but your reputation, your family. I can demonstrate this. Here's how I can demonstrate this. And people will be a lot more careful with what they say about other people with such laws on the books. That's Donald Trump's entire point.
They won't say anything about it.
Another person who makes this great point is Elon Musk, who says that a bunch of anons can make all sorts of slander against people. Nobody can do anything about it, right? The thing is that I don't see anything, and neither do any of you, immoral about holding a person criminally liable who makes up slander and lies through their newspaper publication and then says that's okay because even if
if they do not good line because right now because they don't want to agree with Andrew, everything that you say about your side, let's say, will forever be grounded in, well, I don't care if people lie. Brilliant.
Civilly liable. It's baked into my cost of doing business. That's morally fucking repugnant.
The morally repugnant thing would be the people that you know are going to be chilled into silence on things they should speak on, and the people you know are going to be punished for things that they should not be punished for.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you can't lie.
For example, the economics article that Francis just cited.
He's talking. Am I losing my mind, or did he not say news publications? Jesus fucking Christ! Sorry.
That would never be written. Would never be written.
Why would that not be written?
Because
that's not slander.
It's a subjective prediction, and it could impact the election results.
Yeah, but if he's wrong, how would that be slander?
Well,
it can cause damages. It's causing damages.
For example, like you talk about like the Dominion law. Yeah, I'm okay with like some examples of news organizations like Fox News being held accountable for giving like blatant information if they know they're kind of putting it out there.
I wouldn't
like Fox News
that.
And MSNBC and CNN.
I agree. It's definitely
so now I'm going to give you.
Everybody knows it's such a weak point. I don't know why people copy this destiny shit. Everybody knows that the left is worse on this area. MSNBC, even CNN, even The Economist. They all are horrible at it. So it's like, oh, why? Because Fox, I wouldn't go there. This keeps going in and out.
My take on why it is that liberals actually hate this, even though they know that it's not immoral. Nobody can make a moral case against it, and they don't even bother trying to. The reason that they don't want anti-slander laws is because of this, because there's all sorts of issues which are talked about, right?
I said I'm okay with it.
That the person is right about when it comes to things like foreigners coming into the country, racial issues, things like this. And what happens is liberals will slander that person with lies to the point where their life is destroyed and they're blacklisted from the fucking world, and they don't want to go to jail for it. That's the only reason fucking liberals don't want anti-slander laws.
I'm protecting Trump right now by being against this law that you're proposing. I'm literally protecting Trump. Trump would be in jail a million times over.
Who sent you that talking point, sweetheart?
I cannot believe everybody knows that Trump literally says crazy shit because of the problem with the news and what they're saying. But they're gonna oh my god, the gaslighting. I can't. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So the liberals that will slander people so easily, when they're in power, they're going to slander people still, and they're going to have the force of the law behind them. So they'll actually prosecute people instead of slandering them. That's the issue.
I don't think people would be on their.
I think I agree with Flo. Like pragmatically, it's really difficult because you can say it's an opinion piece, and like say, "Oh, this is my opinion." Like maybe if you had like some email saying like, "Oh, I purposely made these false statements in an opinion article," but I think it's gonna be really pragmatically difficult to do case by case.
I think we need to be mindful how obviously me and if Ghosty and I were having a phone call or something and I said something about somebody, that would not be considered slanderous, right? Because it's not publicized, it's not going out to the world, so on and so forth. So it's not going to necessarily control your freedom of speech. I think what Andrew's referring to is like specific publications or people that are putting out false information on purpose, because slander, defamation, whatever has to be publicized.
It has specific criteria
in order. There's a whole list of this criteria, and the criminal portion of it would require a malicious intent or a harmful intent in order to be considered criminal.
Yeah, and
so
then you would just be criminally liable instead.
There is no restriction on what a prosecutor can charge somebody with. There is no punishment for excess charging.
What about a situation where somebody
sounds like you just need to give punishments for excess charging? Fine, I'm fine with that too.
What about a situation where somebody is actually telling the truth, and now this person doesn't like that the truth is out there, so they charge this person criminally, and just because they can't,
but if it's not true. You mean if they get charged for lying? I'm lost.
Prove it to the standard. That
because you look at the evidence
about this slander. Now they're in prison.
Well, they're actually they actually have a higher protection. They actually have a higher protection because in criminal court the burden of evidence is much higher than the civil protection that they have right now, where they could still be sued into fucking oblivion. So it actually provides an additional protection for them. Right. But if they're actually found liable, they go to fucking jail. And you know what? That would actually solve a whole lot of problems with everything the left is claiming is misinformation. It's just that then you couldn't publicly slander everybody you call a Nazi and a KKK member and all this other bullshit that you would like to label people with, because you can't make fucking arguments and you don't want to go to jail. That's it. That's all it is.
I think lowering the defamation standards civilly would like hitting people. Like, people don't like losing their money, especially big media companies.
They don't care if they're protected. They're protected.
Should we move on to something that actually has to do with this election?
Well, and additional clarification too. You do require mens rea in order to prove a crime. So the difference between going from the civil version of this to the criminal version is you have to prove like the I had crime on my mind. I meant to do this on purpose. It was intentional. So having that additional criteria doesn't necessarily just mean anybody can say they did this on purpose. Like, even if you do something and it's not proven to be intentional or like maliciousness.
The only reason you don't want it is because you want to call people you don't like fucking Nazis and you'll go to jail. That's what I think.
Or just 'cause, like, you don't
That's
think
what I
sending maybe you just don't think sending
Stupid
someone to
law.
jail is like a good solution. Like, doesn't really seem to be working these days. So, like, why would sending a journalist to jail solve the issue immediately?
It works fine to send people to jail as a deterrent. Otherwise, you would get rid of all laws.
I would get rid of a lot of laws.
Right? Why don't you get rid of all laws, Princess?
If going to jail isn't a deterrent.
Why
Go
don't we
ahead.
just outlaw
Pretty sure
everything
he
that's
agrees
bad?
with
Can
you.
you let him answer a question?
Well,
Princess,
no, I'm not against
all laws aren't
all
working
jails,
very
but do you
well.
not agree there's like issues with like we're probably sending too many people to jail and doesn't really seem to be stopping most people from committing crimes. Usually, if you
Let's
go to jail,
outlaw all
you're being
bad
a better
decisions.
criminal than you go in.
So then, Princess, why wouldn't you just get rid of laws?
Because I don't think that's the solution to address that.
Okay, so then what should happen when a person is found criminally liable for a law that they broke? What should happen to them?
It depends. It's a case by case.
Fine.
Depends the crime. Depends the individual. Depends on the mental state. I don't know. That's a really broad question.
Should they go to jail?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So I don't even understand your fucking argument. Go out to sending them to jail doesn't work. Well, what do you want to do when they break the law? Send them to jail. Oh, genius, Princess. Genius. Brilliant.
Kids, listen. I just don't think that's the best solution. I don't know that will fix the issue you're trying to address.
What's the best solution, Princess?
If sending people to jail is a good solution, we should send people to jail for a whole lot more things. We should outlaw every bad decision.
What are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense.
It's the exact same thing you did with trying to get rid of all laws.
Send people to jail for moral crimes, theft, rape, robbery,
mean words,
crimes,
mean words.
No, lying seems like a little different than
those.
Would you send people to jail for cheating on their spouse?
No,
that's immoral.
Not from your standard.
All laws are based on fucking moral shit. Where are we going? I'm triggered. Like, stop it.
Not from the standard of a progressive scumbag. It's not immoral.
I think it's immoral.
But she was asking about your morals, anyways.
Based on what?
They just
based on
being a human.
Yeah, based on I think
you won't be able to fucking ground your moral.
Have any standard? You have no standard to appeal it to. All of this is
humanism.
What is your moral standard based on? God?
Christian ethics, God? Yeah, an unchanging
There's a God,
standard.
and mine's based on my human experiences.
We are going down a rabbit hole, by the way. If we do want to get back to any more of the social dynamics of the election.
So help me God. Do they still do that in court?
By the way, yeah, why not? You know what? Now that I think about it, yeah, if your spouse cheats on you, they go to jail for 2 years. What the fuck is wrong with that?
Yeah, I like it.
I think about it, I actually don't see a problem with that. What's actually wrong if you get married and you decide a week later to go suck some dude's dick and you go to fucking jail? What's actually wrong with that?
This guy wants to vote for Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I want.
No, he's
everybody.
Go out and suck other men's dicks. Oh my God!
What if your wife quit having sex with you right after marriage? Then should you still go to prison? You had a sexless marriage for 10 years.
No, see, we could throw the men in jail for cheating, but like, if we're not fucking vote for me.
You got to get some.
Get a divorce. So anyway, Ghosty, back to this. Why actually would it be problematic from your view if a wife went ahead, because it's immoral, right? Went ahead and cheated on her husband, right? With some guy, if she had to go to jail for 2 years, what's actually wrong with that?
Because I think jail should only be for dangerous criminals.
What does that mean?
What I believe.
What does that mean?
I don't even think people should go to jail for like tax fraud and stuff. I think jail should specifically be for dangerous, violent criminals.
I didn't know Andrew supported no-fault divorce.
That's fucking wild. Okay.
Also, I know Andrew doesn't know stats, but reportedly more men cheat than women. So like, wouldn't men be kind of
sure do it across the board? More? By the way, I don't think that. That's self-reporting, and that's wrong. I don't think that more men cheat than women.
Yeah, I think
I don't believe it. I think that women are better at hiding their affairs. At least that's what they report.
Or men are worse at investigating.
Yep.
I don't think we should be sending people to jail for I would say petty stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
think
This
we
has
should,
nothing. At this point, we're down in the gutter.
Yeah, we're
talking
off the
about
track.
nothing. I'd like to get back to Trump and Harris.
Okay.
So moving on to
was-
social issues, what's your next social issue that you have a problem with Trump on?
His mass deportation plan, which is ridiculous.
Social issue. Yeah,
Oh,
deport.
his
Wait,
immigration.
wait, I'm sorry. You don't want him to deport illegal immigrants?
His mass deportation plan is going to be like, first of all, it's not feasible. It's not
Why not?
possible. We don't
Yeah,
have
do you think he's
the
gonna do it?
detention
Then why are you
centers.
worried about it?
We don't
Yeah,
have
why
the
isn't
money
it possible?
to do
What are you
it.
talking about?
If it's impossible, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, what's the problem here?
well, I mean, he does have a track record for making big promises like the wall and not achieving them. So maybe it's just a track record.
because Democrats
Andrew,
opposed it every
Andrew,
fucking poll that
Andrew,
wouldn't fund it.
That might happen. That can happen this
saying-
time. So, but Andrew,
It's
do you
not-
generally think he's gonna commit to the mass deportation and he's gonna do it?
I hope so.
It's
I
not
want him
possible
to.
to do without like destroying the country, pretty much.
It
How
would
would it
fuck up
destroy-
our economy big
Wait,
time.
Wait, so you're
Wait,
saying that we
what?
need to have second-class tier of slave labor in this country, and Trump's going to destroy that, and you're upset about it?
Well, no, we're talking about
Um,
the logistics of actually achieving his actual policy of mass deportation. We think it's
Yeah,
not really
what,
achievable.
okay, so what logistically is impossible about reinforcing ICE with thousands more agents, kicking in doors and grabbing people who are here illegally and throwing their ass out of my fucking country? What's
Where are
wrong
they
with
going
that?
to put them?
We've
They're gonna-
round,
You're going to put
Where are
them.
they
Humans
going
have
to
been
put
rounded
them?
up all
Where do
throughout
these
the
order.
agents
history.
come from?
It's not hard to round up people and put them in camps. Countries have done it all throughout the
It
20th
is
century.
actually. It is.
It's
actually, if
not.
you
We did it during
interview
World War
ICE
II.
workers,
Russia did it. Germany did it. It happens constantly.
Yeah, what,
It's
what,
a very specific skill set. That you
what skill
need
set?
Putting people in a cage, it's not at all.
Yeah, you
to,
just go.
to
you go-
identify these people and to
Lord
find where they
have
are.
mercy.
They're
And to
not
go
hard
get
to
them.
identify.
There's a whole part with like the families, the separation of the
We've
families.
already
Where are
done
you putting
this.
them before this court case
Ghosty,
happens and
Ghosty.
everything?
Every single Japanese who was here in World War II was sent to an internment camp.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near the amount
Uh,
of people.
This is
How
this is
many-
a super simple
Like,
logistic
there's
thing to
like
do. This is really
13
simple.
immigrants
There will be
in the
some
US.
that fall through the cracks, but
You're okay.
by and large, this is very easy to execute.
Yeah, why would this be hard to execute? I don't get
It's
that.
it and like Andrew said, it is going to affect our economy, and I wouldn't consider
would
it
say that
slave.
it's
labor.
I wouldn't
It's
call
gonna
it
cost a
slave
shit ton.
labor, but that
It's
those
not
second
lower
slave
tier slave
those lower
labor.
wage
No,
jobs are
It's
a huge part of our economy.
So I want to make sure I get this right. You want people who are here in our
Okay,
country who are
literally,
sending.
my dog just did the worst cry. I know, honey. So I'm gonna have to end it, but I'll be back. It's okay, baby. I'm a dog mom first, okay? Love you. Be right back. I know.